steps into it. Pass is caught. Diggs! Sideline! Touchdown! Unbelievable! Vikings win it!
Oh! He broke his ankles. Now he's got an entourage. And he's got a touchdown. He is Houdini. Going deep into the end zone and caught by Chase. Oh my goodness, what a grab! 34-yard touchdown throw.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 2 this week of Dynasty Nation. We've got the week 8 recap and week number 9 preview. And I already introduced the last episode. Kevin and Big Rich joined us for the episode this week. So let's just jump right into it, man. Interesting week number 8, some high scores, some low scores.
Ooh. Yeah.
Let's go. First game, Rich's dud of the week. Chrome Future beating Gunnar Grogan 149.52 to 101.84. Kev, what a matchup this week, man. I mean, Chrome Future, another dominant win.
Just, Derrick Henry. I mean, a lot of guys like popped off this week, but I mean, Derrick Henry is just one of them, man. 32 carries, 219 yards, 2 touchdowns. Just for the hell of it, added another reception for 9 yards on top of all that. Just absolutely insane. This is the type of production that we can expect from Derrick Henry from time to time. He's just a game-breaking talent, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, Richard, just domination again, right? From Andy. I mean, what else can we expect?
Yeah, as always, like I said, it's almost as if every matchup against Andrew has to just be the dud of the week because you just automatically know who's going to win. But I'm going to shout out Gesicki from the Dolphins on his squad. Like he Andrew's been in the market. He asked for a mid-level tight end, just based off him not knowing the kind of production he's going to get. But Gesicki, if he gets that touchdown for him, then what more could he possibly want out of his tight end position with all the other weapons on his team?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they had another week for Andy. Gets Justin Jefferson at a decent day. Nothing too exciting for his levels, but 15.8, you can't really complain. 6 catches, 98 yards. Not a bad day. But let's go over to Gunnar Grogan's side here. A little bit disappointing. James Robinson, man, really disappointed. Only 1.7. I thought he'd get more of a role, but maybe going forward with the Jets. But first week with the Jets was definitely a dud. How about that, Kev?
Yeah, I mean, I already said it once, but just overall, his receiving core is so gross. It makes mine look elite. I said it once. I'll say it again. I really think Grogan isn't winning another game.
Woo. And what about you, Rich? You gonna make the same bold statement?
I'm not gonna go there yet until I dominate him this week. Then maybe I'll make that statement. But if you look, he even got a good day out of Jared Goff, who was lighting up the Dolphins early, and even that couldn't help him because he just had so few people on his team actually produce and put up double digits for him.
Yes, we were all on the right page, including Jason. So all of us start off the week 1-0. Let's go to our next matchup, though. Chicken Parmesan dominating Bateman and Robin this week, 152.18 to a mere 90.42. Rich, what's going on with Bateman and Robin, man? Is the tanks really being driven here?
Yeah, I mean, as we spoke about in episode 1 this week, it just seems like the football gods, the fantasy football gods, are just taking a dump all over Bateman Robin, almost like him paying for his sins for how badly he tanked last year for Breece Hall. He got a good day out of Garrett Wilson. He hasn't been having a great season all around with Zach Wilson not looking great for the Jets, but they lose Breece. Garrett Wilson's the clear number 1 option on that team because realistically, who else are you going to throw it to when Elijah Moore is basically openly saying that he doesn't have any chemistry with Zach Wilson. That Jets defense is so good that it's a shame that their offense is like that. But, at least Garrett Wilson can give him a solid 17 points.
Yeah. Kev, anybody you want to highlight here on Bateman and Robin's side?
Honestly, yeah. I mean, we say just obviously, yeah, Garrett Wilson doing his thing. CeeDee Lamb, typical CeeDee Lamb type performance. Lamar Jackson's been really struggling lately. I guess it's nice to see him to score over 20 for the first time in a while. So, decent game for him.
Yeah, a little bit disappointed out of Kareem Hunt. Maybe they were trying to save him for the trade deadline, thinking they might move him, but he gets 11 carries, still 42 yards, 4 catches for 30, only 11.2. I think you would have thought at a high scoring game, he would have got more action, but they ran away with the lead, Cleveland, and never looked back. Going over to Chicky Parmesan's side, he had a huge day from AJ Brown, 3 touchdown performance, 6 catches at 156 yards for 39.6 points. I mean, just an absolute beast day, Kev.
Dude, that third touchdown might have been one of the coldest celebrations I've seen sometimes. like it's, oh my God, dude, AJ Brown. I mean, like I said in the last episode, man, he's just a different type of player, man. Game breaking talent. He's just awesome. And I mean, also just quick shout out, my man's Travis Etienne. Insane. 24 carries, 156 yards, and a touchdown. Still involved in the passing game. Didn't get much yardage there, but dude, like, goodbye, James Robinson. Who needs you? Etienne is that guy. Let me tell you.
Yeah, absolutely. Rich, anybody else you need to highlight on the Chicky Parmesan side?
Yeah, it does certainly seem like it's Travis Etienne season, for sure. Maybe get Carmine wins that he doesn't want. So, but like if you look at it here, Melvin Gordon gave him a good day. You never know what you're gonna get out of that backfield. And also, there's rumors around the league that he was looking for 3 firsts for Josh Jacobs, and after him put in not such a great game this week, that game was horrible. Like Carlson, the kicker for Vegas, didn't even get any kick attempts. Like they just got crushed. So Josh Jacobs, hopefully this is just a fluke week and he can continue to be good for Carmine, but definitely a bad week. But still overall, with that AJ Brown performance, it didn't matter because he was able to get the win over a poor Jason team.
All right, let's get to our next matchup here. Run CMC just curb stomping the saddest man. It just feels great beating Bob every time. 170.44 to 104.06. I know it's kind of picking on the bottom here, but it's just fun to beat Bob every time. Yeah. So, but to highlight here, I'm going to take the layup for you guys. I'm taking CMC 40.26. I mean, he's got a touchdown throwing, touchdown catching, touchdown rushing. It's just, you love to see it in San Francisco, man. What do you got for us, Kev?
I mean, dude, like I think I forgot the exact stat. That might have been like an NFL record, like in terms of like the first time that's happened in like however many years. I forgot what the exact
last one was LaDainian Tomlinson.
Oh my God, that's right. Wow, damn. But still, just to kind of goes to show the kind of level McCaffrey is on, which he certainly is on LT's level. He is. And I mean, dude, like it's just a perfect mix with him in San Francisco. It's like, oh my God, the sky is the limit. And honestly, like I think he's going to be back there next year. I'm still a Trey Lance guy. I mean, we'll see what happens next year too. But for this year, moving forward, I mean, CMC is going to continue to dominate, man. No question.
Rich, anyone you want to highlight here for Run CMC?
Yeah, I'm going to highlight Jerry Jeudy because like there was talk early in the season that Sutton was that number 1 receiver there. And I think that Jeudy, I mean, I know there was trade talks with him, but like, why would you give up a young talent like that? I think he's clearly like the best receiving option there. Like Sutton, he's all right, but I don't think that he's meant to be a wide receiver 1 truly. But yeah, definitely to get a productive day, an efficient day, and a touchdown out of Jeudy's got to be a good look for you, Jim. How you feeling about him?
Yeah, I like Jeudy, man. I think he's a volume receiver, so the more they're going to start throwing him the ball, it's going to be better for me. Obviously, the way my team's looking right now, if I can have him as my 3rd receiver or flex option, definitely great to have moving forward here, adding this depth.
Oh, yeah.
I do want to highlight both tight ends on this team as we move over to Bob's side as well. But Kyle Pitts first, as these tight ends are swapping teams after this week. Kyle Pitts, best game of the season here, 19 points, 5 catches, 80 yards and a touchdown. Finally starting to show some of what he's been looking to have through his career here.
Mm-hmm.
And Dalton Schultz on Bob's side, 6 catches, 74 yards. Exciting depth piece. I'm looking forward to adding here. Kev, anyone you want to highlight here for Bob's side?
Yeah, just the fact that he's openly tanking. That's nothing new. Starting Elijah Moore over Deontay Johnson. Not that Deontay did anything crazy, but just makes absolutely no sense. I was trying to have him on the pod. Just he scheduling wasn't great with him. So Jason, great interview with him. But yeah, man, I mean, just Najee Harris is so mid. Yeah, his team is worse than mine. So yeah.
Rich, you want to touch on anyone on the saddest man?
Yeah, to touch on the tanking topic here, like having Zach Wilson in there over Dak Prescott, who had a great game.
Yeah.
But he does say Zach Wilson is him, and then he says he's not that guy. Like,
But
you just can't really decide.
yeah.
It seems like Bob's team is filled with guys who like we once thought were that guy, that just aren't. Like you said, Najee Harris, whose value has just been plummeting and plummeting and plummeting. You hope for Bob's sake that they turn it around. But I saw this one play from Najee Harris where they gave him a short pass, and then he just stood there and literally did a stutter step and didn't move anywhere, and then just got tackled and lost yardage. So I was like, whoa, this guy doesn't look so good with the eye test either. But yeah. Bob's team, he's getting exactly what he wanted. To his credit, you say he's openly tanking, but even if he played his best players, he would still suck anyway. So there's that.
Yeah, to your point about Najee Harris too, there was one play, it was like 3rd and 10, and he gained 4 yards, or not even 4 yards, went out of bounds. He's looking around and hits him with the first down sign. Like, bro, you're 8 yards short.
God, dude.
Come on,
Oblivious.
Man. Crazy. All right, so with that, those 3 games, the 3 of us and Jason were all 3-0 in our picks. But here's where things get a little bit interesting. Rags to Riches in our closest game pulls out the win after guaranteeing the victory against I'm All In. 151.58 to 148.1. I mean, we got to start with you, Rich. Congratulations on the guarantee.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great, man. I said I guaranteed, and everyone looked at me like I was crazy. Alexi's a contender. Alexi just got Tyreek Hill. But, I wasn't going to sit there and let that happen. I went and got Waddle specifically now because I didn't trust in DJ Moore's ability to help me win. Now, granted, he did have a crazy lucky ass play at the end of the game to get him close to what Waddle got. But at the end of the day, those few extra points are actually what I needed from Waddle. That 2 and a Waddle connection, that they're both putting up great fantasy numbers. Forgive me, I'm going to go down the team a little bit here. Ayuk, who is now wide receiver 13 in all of fantasy. Azor Ayuk, Christian McCaffrey threw him that beautiful pass. It was just great to see. Even Kenneth Walker didn't have like an amazing day because the Giants, credit to them, stifled the run game. But he still went out and got a touchdown. It seems like at least 1 touchdown per game for Kenneth Walker, one of the best young running backs in the NFL. And then of course Tony Pollard here, just a true RB1 with only 14 carries with 131 yards, just explosive. And then of course 3 touchdowns in that big win. So I'm just very happy where I'm at. I think there's more wins to come. Let's keep the win streak going. I'll let you guys take over on your thoughts on my amazing win.
Yeah, Kev, go ahead.
I mean, dude, Tony Pollard, have yourself a day, man. I mean, dude, 3 tutties, like insane. I mean, we always knew he was talented. Zeke not there, so he had his opportunity to be the full-on workhorse guy. And I mean, hey, he certainly showed that he's great. I mean, I know he was kind of being shopped around. His value wasn't anything crazy. I mean, Rich, I'm sure you're going to hang on to him, but I mean, his value is definitely much higher now. So, we'll see what happens with him. Maybe you already have some ideas in mind, or you're going to just hang on to him. But I mean, yeah, overall, man, I mean, obviously a dud from Wandale. I mean, it was a tough game, but, still pretty solid. I know you said you were looking to trade him before, but I think for now, I mean, solid player, rookie. So, but yeah, man, I mean, great week, great win, and just ultimate power move. I guarantee it. So yeah, great win for you, Rich.
All right. So we also had a slight controversy, I think, in the chats here. So leave us a comment below what you think about this. Rich going into Monday night, 3-point lead with Harrison Bryant still to play, pulls him out of the lineup like the scared man that he is. But smart move, guarantees the win. In the end, it didn't matter. Harrison Bryant put up a big goose egg. So, but what do you think, Rich? You going for the guaranteed win, taking guys out of lineups, not worried about the points for in a playoff race?
You say scared, I say smart. They say play smarter, not harder, all those terms, I saw an opportunity. I took it. I don't trust Harrison Bryant. He's not a part of the long-term vision of this team. He got picked up this week. He's not one of the guys. He's a practice squad guy for me. So you know what? Just guarantee the win. And at any stakes. I'm not going to win for most points anyway. So I need these wins to rack up to shoot me up the standings.
Absolutely. I am out of your side just to be to bend the point, but got to stir up a little controversy here.
Yeah.
All right, Kevin, I'm all inside. Who you want to highlight here? 148.1 performance for the team. So they did put up some points this week.
Yeah, I mean, Tyreek Hill just continues to be Tyreek Hill. I mean, both guys, Hill and Waddle, like we mentioned. But I mean, it's just it's a great weapon for Alexi to have, especially as he makes his playoff push. A difference maker that Tyreek is. Dalvin Cook, man. I mean, I feel like he's been good this year, but I mean, like, I don't know. I think the days of like consistent auto top 5 is over. I mean, he's been solid all year, for the most part. So I mean, but putting up 25.10, full on workhorse load here, 20 carries, gave you 111 yards and a touchdown, 5 receptions to go along with it for 30 yards. I mean, yeah, dude. So, I mean, Alexi, tough loss. Obviously, it came down to the wire. Very close game. But yeah, Alexi's team still remains one of the most dangerous in the league. So,
yeah, Rich, anybody you want to highlight here on Alexi's side?
So I'm going to point out a couple guys here that I think are actually just going to they might cost Alexi in the long run, just based on their team situations and how bad they are. And that's Pittman and Montgomery, two really good players that just, they haven't been producing to that like top tier level that maybe Alexi was hoping for. But yeah, to again, touch on Tyreek Hill, like Kev said, if you look at him, Waddle and Tua, the 3 of them combined for 90 fantasy points. So Tyreek is going to be consistent every week for him. Like his team, I think is I know a lot of people call my team boom or bust. I think Alexi's is pretty too. I think pretty boom or bust too. Like Tyreek Hill's like that one consistent player and Cook, but I still think there's up and down weeks coming from the rest of these guys, and I think his record reflects that.
Yeah, I think Mark Andrews' health is playing a big part into his team going forward here. Obviously, 2 weeks ago, put up a dud dealing with an injury, went out early in the Thursday night game, only putting up just over 6 points this week. So something to look out for the next couple of weeks here as we go forward here for Mark Andrews. But next, let's move over to our highest scoring team this week. Fossil Fuel beats the Evil Empire 195.7 to 136.54. And Rich, I mean, what do we highlight here on Fossil Fuel? I mean, there's so many guys putting up points this week.
There's so many, but there's really also only one that really needs to be said, and that's Kamara, man. Alvin Kamara, just an absolutely incredible game. Just not only the running ability, but especially that receiving ability for 96 yards on 9 receptions, 2 touchdowns. This is the Kamara that we know. And if Justin can continue to get this production out of Kamara and Jones, I know he's talking about still making the playoffs. Maybe it's not too far off. Maybe it's a little too late, but he'd definitely be in the conversation there at the end if he's getting that from them.
Yeah, Kev, your man's DJ Moore. I know you're a big fan of his. Had a pretty solid week, 27.5 points.
Yeah, I mean, Richie kind of alluded to it. I wouldn't say it was lucky at the end. I mean, it was a great throw by Walker, forcing overtime. Would have won the game.
Also, DJ cost them the game.
Yeah, he did. But the kicker should have still made the extra point.
True.
But I agree.
He had the chance in overtime.
Yeah, true. Yeah, man, DJ Moore, just special talent. And I mean, yeah, I think long term, I mean, the Panthers could end up with a top pick at the end of the day. So they could fix that quarterback situation pretty quickly. And DJ Moore could he's good enough. I think he could become a top 12 dynasty asset for wide receivers, that is. So it's certainly possible. I think he's young enough still. He's still overall great. Jalen Hurts, just another day at the office for him this year. AJ Brown, obviously have yourself a day. So Hurts had himself a great day too. Yeah, man, I think Justin's team is, on paper, definitely a playoff team, but again, the wins just haven't been there this year, and I just think it's too little, too late overall. Yeah,
to highlight one player on his team for me, it's going to be Dante Foreman on his bench. He could have had even more. He could have,
Yeah.
I think, even set the record in the league for most points, or was right up there. But Foreman on his bench, 31.8 points, just a huge day with taking over that backfield in Carolina with Chuba out for a little bit of an injury going on.
He's stuck with the newly acquired Benjamin, who is just really not that guy. He's really not that good.
Phenom.
How the tune changes.
Oh my God.
Going over to the Evil Empire side of this, though, I mean, we had another huge day from DeAndre Hopkins, and he's just quickly back into the flow of this offense here. Puts up 33.9 points, 12 catches for 159 yards and a touchdown, Kev.
Yeah, I mean, dude, DeAndre Hopkins, like, he clearly was seething to be back into the league, man. And I mean, came back from the suspension, and he's just been, I mean, just for a points per game basis, obviously very short sample size, but he's been the most dominant wide receiver in fantasy when it comes to just per game. We'll see if this continues. Obviously, this is a ridiculous pace, but he's getting an absurd amount of targets. Obviously, with no Hollywood Brown, this was expected, but to this degree, and he's scoring, like, it's insane, man. I do expect this to come level out a little bit once Hollywood does come back. But for now, I mean, Hopkins is a cheat code. And I mean, overall, dude, like, Ramondre Stevenson continues to show that he is a really good running back. So that trade that he made with Andy was pretty down the middle for even what they were both going for. Makes a lot of sense. But yeah, man, other than that, I mean, just TJ continues to put up solid points. But again, just with his record, it's tough, man. It's really tough situation to be in.
Yeah, Rich, looking at Evil Empire, man, that Ramondre Stevenson, like Kev said, looks like a great addition going to his team.
Yeah, that's for sure. He's looked like he's panning out. Someone who, like, a lot of people are high on because of his age and just the production that he can give you sometimes is Gabe Davis. And I'm actually not all that high on him. Just because I think, like, this offense that he plays in, like, he's like a very boomer bust guy, because obviously Diggs is going to get most of those targets. And it's such like a great offense that, like, it really relies on him to get the touchdown. And I think that him and Drake London, who's still a rookie and like a not proven offense there, that can have, like, again, both those guys are boomer bust. So I think that him losing Chase is really going to, like, cement his season for him. We viewed him as maybe as a guy who could make that push, like same as Justin, to maybe get in that playoff conversation if they turned it all around now. But Chase being gone for a few weeks, I think, kind of cements it for Evil Empire.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with you on that. But next, let's get to our matchup of the week for last week. It was a good matchup, I'd say, in the terms of the closeness of the game here, but overall, a pretty ugly game here. Going to Chubby Stafford beating Taylor Swift's McLaurin F1, 108.38 to 95.92. Kev, I could see the disappointment in your face right now. I mean, you want to just get right into this?
I mean, what a fall from grace, Hunter. It's actually like that. Overall, that made me so sad. Like, the Raiders are so bad this year, and, like, it's crazy. Like, literally, like, who's going to be the worst team in that division? They're all so good. And, like, the Raiders were like, maybe just them, because we all had high expectations for the Chargers and obviously the Broncos this offseason. And the Chiefs are the Chiefs, but the Raiders, we expected to still be very good. And I mean, Renfro had himself a year last year. And I mean, yes, of course, the addition of Devontae Adams, of course, I was going to take a hit on his value. But this is insane. Like, I can't start him anymore. Mac Hollins is doing more. Devontae Adams, to be fair, also didn't do anything, which is crazy. Like, outscored Devontae Adams, but whatever. It's just really ugly. My team has completely hit the ground, like hit the floor, just dead. When one of the most exciting young kickers in the league gives you -1, it's just, I went up. I was up 18 points going into Monday night. And I was like, wow, I'm really going to steal this win and continue to steal everyone's chance to make the playoffs, because I just keep winning games. Instead, DeVito takes it. I mean, Nick Chubb gets himself 2 touchdowns, and it was just nail in the coffin for me, man. It was it was heart-wrenching. And just, my team is just not it this year, man. It sucks. It sucks.
Yeah, what's even more alarming, I think, Hunter Renfrow with the 1.6 is it's not even getting involved with Darren Waller being out. Like that's what you thought. Oh, okay, maybe we can get Renfrow going here.
That's why I started him. I was like, oh, no Waller. Okay, let's go. And the Saints have been getting exposed low key for the pass and like get shut out. Like, dude, it's alarming. And I don't know what to do. I don't have any options to turn to. It's again, I don't regret the trade at all. Because I look at like, yeah, I would have beaten DeVito if I had Tyreek Hill, but look at the rest of the league. I would have put up like 111 points or something like that. 100, like not even less than 120. So I look around the league, like that's not impressive at all. So I still think that was a good move for me. But yeah, I would have given me the win here.
Rich, what can we make of this performance here from Taylor Swift's McLaren F1?
Yeah, I think one of the most alarming things, not just because it happened this game, but it seems to have been like a consistent trend for the season for Kev, is that the handcuffs of his superstar running backs seem to be almost outperforming them. And I think that, Kev, if I were you, I would definitely look to get Jamal Williams in your lineup.
Oh yeah,
consistently.
Yeah, I'm not benching him again.
Because that touchdown upside is just like obviously I would start them both because Swift is going to get those receptions, but at that goal line, Jamal, that's really the only way that they score touchdowns there in Detroit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know that Hines is not a part of the team anymore, but like, maybe having him on the squad like can help you. I know we went on your trade block, but
yeah.
Considering how inconsistent your running back production has been, maybe Hines can give you something in his new destination.
Yeah, I definitely planning on just consistently starting Williams. It's just like I went into that week like, all right, Swift is back. I didn't expect him to be like completely 100%, which he clearly is not. But like it was so evident that like Williams was just getting the more high value touches, and like I don't know, man, like. I didn't expect this. Like I knew Williams was looking good with Swift before, but then even when Swift was gone, like, Williams had like one pretty good game, but other than that, it's been kind of I did not see this coming. Yeah, obviously if I started Jamal Williams, I would have won. Man had 2 touchdowns, but like just overall, it's just a
they say the best ability is availability, and Williams has been available and Swift has not. So I think that he's gained the trust of that coaching staff and the players.
Yeah, it's tough with Swift. I mean, he's got all the talent, but yeah, like you said, man, you got to be available, and this has been Swift's biggest concern. And makes me even more glad I made that trade, because if I hang on to Swift, I actually do expect Williams to get a small little extension. Like, yeah, he's a little older, but he works perfectly in what they're trying to do there. So I mean, I still can view him as a great handcuff, but yeah, like you said, I can plug and play him with Swift, whether he's in or out, but yeah, it's brutal.
Yeah, Kev, I think Bob's still waiting for you to answer him in the group chat here.
He can keep waiting as he's continuously tanking. I don't need to say anything to him.
All right, over to the Chubby Stafford side here. The real thing that put him over the top here was another great performance from Nick Chubb. 25.4 points. He gets 23 carries for 101 yards, 2 touchdowns. Also has a 2-point conversion and adds a catch for 3 yards. What do you think about Chubby Stafford this week, Rich?
Yeah. And Stafford actually looked pretty solid in the first half of that game. San Francisco was just too explosive at the end of the day, or should I say just CMC. They couldn't overcome that. But yeah, I mean, Chubb doing what he does, and he managed to overcome Kev even with missing Eckler this week.
Yeah, Kev, you got anything to add here on the Chubby Stafford side of things?
I mean, Tyler Boyd, that one touchdown he had, literally Burrow almost got picked off, and it was like batted in the air, I believe, and Boyd just came down with it. I'm like, it could have been anyone else, please. But yeah, in the end, I don't even think it would have mattered because Chubb just, scored again, and my heart sank once he got that 2-point conversion. I was like, oh. It's over. It's over. I already saw it coming. The percent of who's going to win just kept going back and forth. It was a roller coaster for me, man. I really thought I was going to steal the win, but yeah, hats off to DeVito. He's certainly, I think, a firm playoff team.
Yeah. So with that wraps up a pretty interesting week number 8 here, and that will bring us to our picks from this past week, which puts a pretty good thing. We had a tie on the top here between Rich going 4-2 this week at our guest picker, Mr. J, also going 4-2. And then you got me and Kev going 3-3 this week.
Dude, I continue to sink further and further to the bottom, man. Brutal.
And let's remember why. You guys didn't buy into the guarantee.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, scrub, son. What can I say? That's all. That's all I got.
All right, so that brings our season totals here. Rich, you go to 17-7, which gives you a 71% win percentage. Kev, you go to 30-18, which is 63%. And then we go to me at 34-14, which ties with Rich. Both of us now at 71% on the season. So things are getting tight at the top here.
Yeah,
you can get the tiebreaker though, because you have more picks.
I was gonna say give Jim a handicap at least because of how many more games he's picked. But yeah, I mean, Rich coming in late, but still very impressive picking.
Mr. J solid 1 week, 67% with the 4-2. So maybe we'll get some more picks from Mr. J in the comments down below. See if we can keep track of Jay as well.
There you go.
But let's reset this standings for the season here. Chrome Future stays on the top here at 7-1. Second place still runs CMC, also 7-1, separated by about 60 points. Chubby Stafford's in third as he goes to 6-2 this week. Last playoff spot is I'm All In at 5-3. Just behind him in fifth, Taylor Swift McLaurin, also 5-3, about 120 points behind though. Sixth place, Rags to Riches moves up. He's 4-4 now. Seventh place, Gunnar Grogan, also 4-4. Eighth, Fossil Fuel improves to 3-5, looking to make a little bit of a run here. Ninth place, Evil Empire drops to 2-6. Now getting to our draft lottery positions here. 10th place is Chicky Parmesan at 2-6. 11th, Bateman and Robin, 2-6. And in the bottom, the saddest man, a mere 1-7 on a 6-game losing streak.
Ugh.
Yeah, this man wants to talk shit about me. Like, all right, yeah. So I had expectations for my team. So did he. Last I checked, man thought he could win it. So I don't want to hear from him. Scrub, awful, worst in the league. Love that. Bijan is not going to be yours. Sorry.
All right. With that, we will go on to make our week number 9 preview and picks. All right. So let's get into week number 9 here. Should be another interesting week here in the DFL. But as Rich likes to start here, we're going to start with the dud of the week, which we projected to be Chubby Stafford at 6-2, going against 2-6 Bateman and Robin. And Rich, why don't you get us started with a player you want to watch here on Chubby Stafford?
I think we definitely look for Devontae Adams to have a bounce back game. Like that was that's one of the worst offensive games of all time, like from that whole team. So I think that Devonta Adams against Jacksonville, like he'll definitely get back to at least somewhat of his normal standard.
Yeah, I would say like for me, for DeVito, honestly, just Eckler. He's back, after the bye playing Atlanta. I mean, I think he's just going to go off against that defense.
Yeah, I'm looking at Keenan Allen right now. It was a little bit questionable. I'm curious if he'll play. I think he's got two missed practices again this week, so it's kind of curious. But if he plays, man, and he's even half of Keenan Allen with no Mike Williams in that offense, that's a big piece to have. But
yeah,
either way, let's go ahead and look at Bateman and Robin. Give us one player here. I'm gonna go with Kadarius Toney. Let's go. First week in Kansas City, we're gonna see really what we've got here. I know maybe a little bit of an adjustment to the offense and a little bit of feeling out, but when you get that speedster in an Andy Reid offense, I think we're gonna see something this week. Kev, who you got on Bateman and Robin this week?
So just because I don't expect Keenan Allen to play, I'm going Josh Palmer. I think he'll be set up to really feast against that defense. And even if Keenan Allen does play, Mike Williams definitely won't be there. So yeah, I think he'll be against a very porous pass defense. Herbert, I think, feels like he's got to really pick up his game a bit. He's been struggling. So I think this is going to be a nice get-right game.
Yeah, you guys seem to pick players that you think maybe might perform well for Jason to maybe give him a chance. But no, I'm just going to look at his his running back situation right now, where he has Blackshear and Gainwell starting. We talk about Bob's team tanking, but oh my God, that is the worst pair of starting running backs I think I've ever seen. I think it's just a guaranteed loss this week for Jason, unless something goes incredibly wrong for DeVito.
Yeah, I'm also on the Chubby Stafford side of things.
Who is that?
No, he got promise. He's young,
Bro, what the fuck?
All right, safe to assume we're all on the Chubby Stafford this week, Joe.
Yeah,
We're laughing with you, Jay. We're laughing with you.
Poor Jason, man.
Blackshear. Sorry.
Let's get to our next matchup here. We've got 7-1 Run CMC going up against 3-5 Fossil Fuel. Kev, why don't you get us started with a player on the Run CMC side?
For Run CMC, I'm looking at James Conner, man. Is he going to be back? Is he going to be healthy? If he does, I mean, yeah, Seattle's been looking good, but I think against running backs, not so great. So I think if James Conner plays, I think that'd be really big for you, man.
I'm going to be going here with the newly acquired Joe Mixon. He started the season on my team. I always had high expectations from this year, and he's playing against Carolina this week. Definitely a big opportunity if they go up big early. Carolina, their defense is pretty solid if you had to pick a side of their team that you trust more. But I still think that with that explosive offense there with the Bengals, I think that Joe Mixon is going to spend a lot of the second half running the ball.
Nice. Yeah, I'm going to go with Travis Kelce, my guy, coming off the bye week, going against the Tennessee Titans defense. Sometimes stingy, but I mean, Kelsey's the tight end one for a reason. He's just that dude. I mean, huge difference maker for my team going forward. Over to the Fossil Fuel side here. Alvin Kamara going up against Baltimore. Interesting matchup. Kamara's coming off his best week of the season here. But Baltimore's defense, newly acquired Roquan Smith, going to be right in that lineup. How much are they going to be able to contain Alvin Kamara? Going to be a big factor, I think, in this matchup. Rich, who you like here in Fossil Fuel side?
We'll see if DJ Moore can continue if it actually was just kind of a lucky big play at the end of the game, or if he can actually continue to be the receiver I thought he could be this season. If we're going with my theme of, I think that's going to be a pretty big win for Cincinnati. I think it's going to be a blowout. So I think that they're going to be throwing the ball a lot more than they are running it.
Yeah, man, I'm going to highlight Aaron Jones, man. I think Detroit is just the worst defense in the NFL. I don't think it's particularly close. And I think Aaron Jones being like the Packers wide receiver one on top of being the RB1, I think he's going to be having a big night. Big day, rather.
So with that, let's make our picks. Kev, who do you got in this matchup?
Yeah, this is going to be a good one, man. But I mean, obviously you got no McCaffrey due to bye. But I'm going to take you. Hard fought battle for Justin, but taking Run CMC.
Rich, who you like?
It's I think it's going to be a great matchup. I think that Justin Teams has been turning it on a little bit. And I think that with Kamara staying put, I think that his spot is solidified. And if they have any chance of winning, they're going to go through him. So, I'm actually going to, it's hard to pick against Jim, but I am going to be picking Fossil Fuel here. Just because, I'm also trying to jinx it because I want Justin to lose as many games as possible when he gets picked. But I like the matchups for his squad. I think he's going to pull out the win. As much as you might hate to hear that, Jim.
I don't know, man. That makes me nervous because you've been pretty on fire with your picks. So I don't know.
Yeah, maybe I should be on upset alert here.
I don't know.
But yeah, to your Kamara point, he did lose Mark Ingram in New Orleans, so there's not really a rotational back to really spell him. So he will be on the field, I'd say, almost every offensive snap. And the only person I guess to worry about is Taysom Hill. But with that, I'm still sticking with myself. Run CMC to get
as you should.
8-1. But yeah, definitely could be a solid matchup. I mean, Justin's coming off a 195 week, so definitely something to be looking out for.
Mm-hmm.
Next, let's go to a battle of the 4-4 teams here in the middle of the standings. We've got Gunnar Grogan against Rags to Riches. And Rich, this is your team, man. It's why you get us started. Who are you looking to produce in your own lineup?
I'm going to go with old faithful Kenneth Walker. I think that he was stopped for most of the game. last week. I think that's he's not going to be as stopped as frequently this game. I think that he's really is special. And I think that they're just going to keep feeding the ball. I think this game could also end up being like a high scoring affair. But I trust Seattle to make the plays to get the win. I just think they're better than Arizona. I think that win is going to come at the hands of maybe a couple of touchdowns from Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, man. It's tough. I think I'm just going to go with Tua against Chicago. I think Chicago, I mean, their defense just got worse, and they've already been not great. I think, if I expect Tua to do well, I'm sure Waddle will as well. But I think Tua's just going to keep doing his thing.
I'm going to go with Devonta Smith. We had a big week from A.J. Brown last week. So, defenses might be a little hyper focused on A.J. Brown this week. Don't want to get torched for 3 touchdowns. Going up against the Houston Texans defense, I look for Devonta Smith to have a big week this week on Thursday Night Football. Going over to the Gunnar Grogan side, Dameon Pierce. I know like Rich went with the first matchup expecting good things here, but I think Dameon Pierce is going to have a dud week against that Philadelphia Eagles defense that is just stout. And they just added Robert Quinn. They're just too nasty, man. Kev, who you got?
I'm going to go with a bit of a wild card pick here. I'm going to go with Mecole Hardman on Sunday Night Football. Hardman's coming off of what I believe to have been a career game for him. Guy had 3 touchdowns before the bye against San Francisco. And now they're playing Tennessee. I think Hardman can certainly I don't see why he can't continue this momentum, man. I think, I took him in our startup draft. Obviously, he's been bounced around in our league since then, but I always thought he had potential. And maybe this is the year in this second half stretch here, it starts to finally come together for him.
I'm going to just shout out maybe James Robinson to potentially have more of a role in the offense, being that he's here for another week. He was only involved in 22% of the snaps. So I don't know if that's going to be as consistent going forward. Maybe not a big day from him, but, with me missing some players in the lineup, maybe he can put up a game big enough to maybe give Grogan a chance.
All right, so let's go ahead and make our picks. Rich, why don't you start? Are we going to get another big Rich guarantee?
Well, I'm missing Ayuk this week. I'm missing Tony Pollard. So, with that being said, hell yes, I'm going to once again guarantee that I'm winning. Another win in a row for me here. And like I said, Rob Grogan, you're next. You're going down to rags to riches.
I already spoiled it. I don't think Rob's winning another game. Big Rich going to take a big win.
I agree. I'm also on the rags to riches side. I think it's just Gunnar Grogan's, man. It's just looks like he's falling apart for him. See if he'll be able to make any moves or something to get this second half of his season, at least, kind of sketchy for the playoff run here. All right. So with that, let's go ahead and move on to Taylor Switz-McLaurin, who's 5-3 against 2-6 Chicken Parmesan. And Kev, your squad here. So why don't you get us started with who you like on your team?
Yeah, we talked about him before. I'm going to go Jamal Williams against his former team. I think he'll just continue to score touchdowns. I'm going to need him to against Carmine. So Jamal Williams for me.
I'm going to go with big play Chris Olave, going up against, I already saw what my Dolphins did to that Baltimore secondary this season. And I think that Olave is definitely that number one option there, aside from Kamara. So I think they're both going to be due for big days.
For Kev's side, I'm going to go with Justin Herbert. I think this is finally going to be that huge game you've been waiting for all season from Justin Herbert going up against Atlanta. I know they've been pretty competitive to start the year, but I just feel like that fall apart game it's just almost going to happen. After that big touchdown to DJ Moore last week, I think it's time they're going to get exposed, and Justin Herbert's going to be the benefactor of that. Over to the Chicken Parmesan side, I look for Josh Jacobs to finally get back after a bad week last week against the Jacksonville defense. Should be an interesting week there. Vegas overall needs to get right after a pretty awful week. Rich, what do you got for Chicken Parmesan?
I'm going to look at A.J. Brown, against Houston. I doubt he'll have the same game that he had last week, as that was otherworldly, but, he's still definitely going to have wide receiver 1 numbers, I'd imagine, unless Devonta Smith takes all the the credit there for that day, and I'd be very happy.
Yeah. I'm just gonna take my man's Travis Etienne. I think the Raiders are just in complete shambles, and I think the Jaguars are kind of middle of the road, but I think Etienne's gonna put in that work.
Last player I did actually want to highlight too, Christian Kirk for Jacksonville, 2 for Carmine. You know, they just made the trade for Calvin Ridley. I know he's not playing, obviously, but maybe that lights a fire under him to be like, hey, why are they bringing in another guy? I'm the number 1 receiver here in Jacksonville. So maybe he's got to have a prove-it game this week. So, Big Rich, why don't you get us started with the picks this week on the Taylor Swift-McLaurin Chicken Parmesan matchup?
You know, despite records, this is actually a pretty tough one to call here. I think it's really going to come down to like if Taylor plays. I mean, like, as Kevin said earlier, his team is falling apart a little bit. I'm pretty sad if he does fall, because that pick I gave away with the expectation that Kev would follow through on his desires and, you know, be that true playoff team that he kept on preaching he was going to be. But no, I think he's going to suffer another loss this week, the Chicken Parmesan. I just think that his running backs have been too inconsistent. And, you know, depending on Jamal Williams' touchdowns, you know, it can happen. I think it's a great matchup. If you look at the projections here on Sleeper, it is a 50-50 shot. But I'm going to go with Chicken Carm.
It's only 50-50 because Melvin Gordon's still in the lineup and Denver has a bye. So he'll have
doesn't change anything.
Yeah. Yep. So I also just really quick want to just highlight Hockenson, first game as a Minnesota Viking. We'll see if he can do anything. I'm still going to start him because I trust in the talent that he is. And I'm starting Mac Hollins as of now. In case you guys think I have a better option on my bench, you let me know. But
maybe Terrace Marshall. He had a pretty good game last week.
My man. I think I got to see a little bit more from him before I trust the second year future stud, you know. But yeah, man, I think it's Carmine and it's not going to be close.
Wow. The fall from grace from Mr. Roque. It's gonna be close.
He's just got all these guys that are just hot right now. These guys are rolling. I can see. I mean, my team has been doing nothing to inspire any.
He's trying to reverse jinx it.
Nah, listen. I'm gonna put out my best lineup that I possibly can. I have to start Taylor against the Patriots defense. I mean, that's a brutal matchup, but I have to play him. Swift, I mean, I hope for him to be more involved than he was last week coming off the injury, but I agree. You know, big play Olave against Baltimore. It's just not enough, man. I mean, I think just Carmine on paper, I would easily rather have his roster to win a matchup this week.
Man, I feel like we're about to be like one of those ESPN memes where we all pick one side and then the other side just blows it out. Before you guys picked, I was leaning towards Carmine, but I thought I was going to be the only one. And now to see you both go that way, I'm like, I don't know. But I'm going to stick with my gut. I'm going to go Chicken Parmesan. Kirk Cousins also wanted to highlight against Washington's defense. I think they're going to actually blow them out as well. But yeah, Chicken Parmesan, I think, is going to get this win.
Whether he likes it or not.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
All right. So with that, let's go to our next matchup here towards the bottom of the standings here. We've got 1-7 saddest man against 2-6 evil empire. Kev, why don't you get us started with your favorite team, the saddest man?
All right. Well, I'm not highlighting this player, but he still has a. Oh wait, no, never mind. I was gonna say something stupid. I'm gonna highlight Jacoby Myers. I know Jimmy hates him.
I do.
He's coming off a big week and he scored a touchdown, which doesn't do that very often. But you know, he gets targets, man. He's a good route runner. He gets open. Yeah, I think he's gonna have a solid game.
I'm gonna highlight the Tampa Bay defense because everyone else on Bob's team is just so butt that, you know, I look at the defense going up against the Rams, who's been struggling. And, you know, the Tampa Bay is desperate for a win. That I think that there's potential that they put up the most fantasy points for Bob this week.
Interesting. I'm going to highlight the former Run CMC player now on Bob's side here, the tight end Kyle Pitts. Just had his best game of the season, gets the boot. I'm curious to see what he could do against the Los Angeles Chargers. I feel like their Falcons pretty much said we have faith in you by getting rid of Ridley. It's a Drake London and Kyle Pitts for the future show. So we'll see what happens here. Going over to the Evil Empire side, though, I'm definitely interested to see what Raheem Mostert could do against that Chicago Bears defense. How much Jeff Wilson will be involved to see what the overall split's going to be. But Chicago has not been the greatest defense, and they just got rid of Robert Quinn and Roquan Smith. So look for Raheem Mostert to get going. Kev, what do you got on the Evil Empire side?
Yeah, I'm going to take Nook Hopkins to just continue to dominate division matchup. Must win for both of them. I think it's going to be a really exciting game. I think Hopkins is going to go nuclear.
It's interesting you say that because I think that might actually be a down week for Hopkins. That Seattle defense has been pretty solid. So I think if anyone could shut him down, it's him. I'm going to pick the guy who I also said I don't like, Gabriel Davis, because I know it's Jets defense so good, but they're going up against the Bills, and I think it's going to be touchdowns galore as they get blown off the field. So sorry to say that, Jim, but I'm going to pick Gabe Davis to maybe put up like a 20-point day, a couple touchdowns there.
Ooh, man.
Damn.
Yeah, to be fair, they're probably going to put sauce on Diggs, I would think. So we'll see what DJ Reed can do against Gabe Davis. But
yeah,
I'll go ahead. I'll make the first pick this round. And I'm going to go with the Evil Empire this week to beat the saddest man. Bob's going to fall to 1-8. TJ will improve to 3-6. Rich, who do you like this week?
I'm going to pick the team I think we're all going to end up picking. I'm going to pick the Evil Empire as well, just because Bobby has just shown a consistent effort to not want to win harder than anyone in the league. And, I think he's going to get what he wants, because if you put out a lineup like this, it's just looking for a loss. So, I'm going to pick Evil Empire.
Yeah, it would be silly of me to pick the worst team in the league, which Bob is, and won't have Bijan Robinson. Calling it right now. Evil Empire. I think he's just going to take it and won't be sweating much about it. So,
all right. So with that, let's get to our week 9 matchup of the week. We've got 7-1 Chrome Future going up against 5-3. I'm all in. Rich, why don't you get us started with Chrome Future side?
Again, every time you look at this lineup, it's like, which one do I pick? Because there's just so many. I hate to do this to you guys, like limit your options, but just like I said before, I think it's just the Bills offense. Specifically Stephon. Well, Stephon Diggs is gonna have sauce on him, like I said. If Gabe Davis has a good day, but I still think it's gonna be touchdowns galore. Regardless, I think Diggs is gonna be the first guy who the sauce can't contain. He won't get lost in the sauce because Diggs is just simply that dude.
Yeah, honestly, man, I feel like this game is just going to come down to if Derrick Henry gets in the end zone, which I'm sure he will. Big, exciting Sunday night football matchup. If Derrick Henry continues to do his thing after that insane performance he just had, it keeps the momentum going, it'll be huge for him for sure. So I'll take Henry.
Rich, well, you take the Bills offense. I'm going to go ahead and take the Vikings offense in this lineup here. Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen going up against Washington. Obviously, I talked about Kirk Cousins earlier. I think a big matchup coming for both of them. I think they combine for 60 plus between the two of them this week.
Okay.
Over to Alexi's side. Let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and look at Tyreek Hill going against the Chicago Bears. The defense, again, not being good. They're trading away players. They're bringing in offense, getting rid of defense. So not really sure what direction they want to go in, but the defense seems like it's going on the way down this week. Kev, who do you got for I'm all inside?
I'm surprised you took Tyreek over your man's Mark Andrews, man, to be honest. But I will take Mark Andrews here. He's got a very long time to get over his injury. Played Thursday night, doesn't play again until Monday night. I think he's going to play New Orleans. Yes, they just shut out the Raiders, but I mean, the Ravens are much better, in my opinion, than the Raiders. So I think Mark Andrews has a big bounce back, stays healthy. even though Isaiah Likely is a stud, just, he is. But it is still the Mark Andrews show in Baltimore. And I could see this being really, really close. And Andrew doesn't have anyone on Monday night. And I think Mark Andrews could be in store for a big game and steal a win potentially.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Dalvin Cook for the same reasons that you said, Thielen and Jefferson. I just think the way that game's going to go, I think that it's going to be very run heavy at the end, which might actually end up going against what Drew wants and for what Alexi wants.
All right. So with that, our matchup of the week, Kev, you kind of lean towards where you might be going. So why don't you get us started here with your picks?
I may have leaned one way, but it doesn't quite mean anything. So I'm looking at these two teams, right? Great matchup of the week. Two really good teams. You know what? Yeah, I am leaning that way. I'm taking Alexi with the upset win over the 7-1 Chrome Future. And I think at the end of the day, it's just going to be really close. Alexi's been kind of, as you know, very up and down. He needs a win bad. And I think this is a great week for him to do it, man. I think it's going to be a great game, but taking Alexi.
Yeah, I think I was thinking about maybe picking, like I picked against Jim. Maybe picking against both of them really shake things up. You know what? I think that Team All In is I'm not picking against Andrew. I think he's gonna lose, which will put me and Alexi at the same record. So All In and Rebuilder with the same record. That's just what you say. Sorry, Alexi. What about you, Jim?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Andrew, man. It's hard to pick against him at this point. Just too much going on in his favor, I think, with, like you said, the Bills against the Jets and going with the Vikings against Washington. Alexi, I think it's going to be real interesting going down the stretch here. These standings are in for quite a rude awakening here. Playoff teams are falling, rebuilders are rising, and overall excited for week 9. How you guys feeling going into week number 9?
Miserable.
I'm feeling great. Honestly, because like I'm in a situation where my team is so young that like I could be bad, I could be good, but you know what? I am good. And I've been called boom or bust, but like lately it's just been boom. And I feel like I could beat anyone except for maybe those top 2 guys. But we'll see. I play them again. My team's been activated now. I am genuinely trying to make the playoffs, but it's good. It's a long, hard fight. You see the way I've climbed the power rankings already. So maybe.
Yeah, Run CMC here making a push, trying to get back to that number 1 spot in the power rankings. We'll see what happens this upcoming week. But after that, thank you guys for watching, man. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, comment down below, get this thing going. And thank you guys for watching both episodes this week. And we'll catch you guys next week. Peace.